Station 5 is a game for the Apple II. It was one of my favorites when I was a kid. I couldn't find much of anything about it on the internet, so I'd like to show you all what a brilliant game it is. At startup, it tells you about the backstory. You're remotely controlling a robot at a power station on the moon during a meteor storm. Let's go ahead and get started. So it's your job to make sure that power generation keeps running smoothly. Meteors are falling all the time. What I'm doing right now is I'm opening and closing cooling vents on top of the power station. The more of them that are closed at a time, the hotter it runs, and the hotter it's running, the more power it's generating. So you have to keep just the right amount of them open so that it doesn't overheat, but that it generates a lot of power. So what happened there was a meteor fell on a closed cooling vent, which leaves a meteor fragment behind, which can be used to power the shield generator. So I'm safe for a few seconds now. The number at the bottom shows you how much power you've generated. I need to generate at least... the first two digits are the only significant ones. I need to generate at least 20 mega units, as they call them, to get at the level. So I'm at 12 now. You can generate more, but I'll go ahead and stop it at 20 to keep this video short. Alright. And that's it for level 1. In level 2, you're at what they call the transmission site. You're building transmission towers by picking up these spare parts here that will send the power to the orbiting relay station so that it can be transmitted to Earth. Those little things that are rising out of the ground are... whoa. Have to concentrate here. And I screwed up. So those things that are rising out of the ground are harmful ion formations. The little guns that are shooting them down are called ion neutralizers. And as you saw there, if you get shot by one of them, you die. And once in a while, they will turn into what's called a homer that chases after you for a little while. There's one. Now, if you can get the ion neutralizers to shoot one of those, like that, it generates some additional power. So if you didn't generate much at the power station, you can get a little bit more here. And the more you generate, the more points you get at the end of the game. So it's actually to your advantage to do that, if you can pull it off. Of course, that means the game is harder, but you get more points. So it's a bit of a trade-off. Once I've built 7 transmission towers, there we go, they'll send power continuously. I won't have to pick up these spare parts anymore, and at that point I just have to wait until all the power has been sent to the remote orbiting station to get out of the level. Whoa, that was wrong. You have to constantly keep on the move, because you never know where one of the ion formations is going to pop up. Alright, so I've got all my towers built. There aren't any more spare parts coming up, so now I just have to wait for the end of the level, which is about now. Next we go to the transporter room. So I have to move all of these switches to the down position to engage the transporter to take me to the orbiting relay station. That little round thing with eyes is called a toggler. He comes in to screw me up. Almost there. Oh, of course. if you wait long enough in this level, well, I'll show you what happens. There's this thing they call the magnetic plasma that comes. All the switches disappear, although they're still there, so when you're running around trying to avoid it, you're still activating them. So you have to watch out for that thing for a little while. That little display on the back shows you the state of the switches, so you can still keep track of what you're doing with that. But anyway, let's get out of here, if I can manage it. Here we go. So next we're going to the orbiting relay station. This is what transmits the power to Earth via these things they call transmitter horns, and 2 of them just got taken out. So the meteors that were falling at the power station are also causing trouble here. They're causing damage to the transmitter horns. So those supply ships, there's one over on the left now, come in and bring spare parts that you have to pick up to repair them. And there's a little bit more space junk floating around. If that touches you, it kills you. It can also take out the spare parts, so it can be really a pain. I'm safe here, I think. Yep. I have a certain amount of fuel. That's the orange gauge down in the bottom. Once that runs out, I'm not able to move anymore, and I need to get back to one of the refueling stations at the bottom. Let's go ahead and do that now. Uh-oh. Oh! There's quite a bit of randomness in this level, which makes it very difficult. A lot of stuff to watch out for. Because if any of the power that's being sent to Earth hits you, you're dead, or the meteors, or any of the space junk floating around. And if you run out of rocket fuel, you're just free-floating. If you happen to land on a fuel station after that, you'll still be able to refuel. But let's just try not to run out. Whoa! That was close. Oh! Alright. Well, that was my last robot. But anyway, that's all the levels in the game. If you beat this one, it starts over at the first one, and you have a chance to earn more points. So now it shows you your rank. The level is based on the amount of power you've generated and transmitted to Earth, or done whatever with it, depending on which level you died on. And this this rank here depends on how many levels you've gotten out of. But anyway, this was one of my favorite games back in the day, and I still love it. So if you can find it in an Apple II emulator, I highly recommend you check it out.